Hey, what's up, guys? Wanted to do a quick video, and it's really in response to a question that I had about, because of my views on illegal immigration, how I view the destruction of basically the destruction of the founding of America and the destruction of the natives, because I think that's where that question was getting at. How should we view that in light of where we're at today? The truth of what happened with the European Christians coming over to the Americas, it is deep, right? There's an ideology behind everything, behind every nation, the conquering of other nations, war. There's an ideology. These things just don't happen in a vacuum, right? When we were going to war in the Middle East, since Desert Storm in the early 90s, even all the way up to today, our involvement in the Middle East, there's an ideology behind it. And it's the same ideology that inspired the Puritans, the Pilgrims, to come over here to America and then eradicate the Native Americans, their culture. And until you understand that ideology, because both ideologies are the same, you're not going to understand where we're at in world history. You're not going to understand what's going on in America itself, why we're seeing the destruction of American, decency, culture, the promotion of LGBTQ, the celebration of it, feminism, the destruction of the family unit. Until you understand the ideology behind what the Puritans and Pilgrims did, you won't understand what's going on today, because they're connected. Now, that being said, I love my country, because when you go through the history of mankind, just about every country was founded on bloodshed, conquering. That's just the way the world is. And it always will be. It's never going to change. There's never going to be a utopia. There's never going to be a paradise. The Christians that tell you there's a rapture, all that stuff is nonsense, right? Now, I'm a Christian. I don't believe in none of that rapture nonsense. We're not meant to have a utopia. Life is an eternal struggle. And when the Pilgrims and Puritans came over here, they came over with a worldview and ideology, and it contrasted and went to war against the natives in their worldview, in their ideology. And the European Christians won out. And throughout history, you have the cosmic or an eternal struggle between warring nations, right? And that's what you had since the time that Europeans landed on the continent. It's even going on now. Nations means race, right? A nation is a race. And you had the Europeans against the natives clash for supremacy, for victory. Now, the harsh reality is one side won, one side lost. There's a lot of sadness with that, because you had the destruction of a whole culture. And at least with the natives in America, you rarely will see one that has a lot of their blood still. A lot of it's been mixed in. You see more of the pure natives down in Mexico, southern Mexico, Nicaragua, El Salvador, and all that. But as far as the America, it's not the same, right? But until you understand what the ideology was behind the English Puritans and their eradication, their war against Native Americans, you're not going to understand what's going on today. Because it's the same worldview, it's the same ideology. And I don't support that ideology. But I still love my country. And I still believe in law and order. And I still believe that a country has its obligations to its citizens to protect its borders. I'm for legal immigration. Okay. And in my plan, if I was to have my way, anybody who's already here, legal or legal, make them a citizen and let's start fresh, strengthen the borders, limit it. Okay. So it's not a harsh way of looking at it. It's compassionate for the people already here, but it's also to prevent, but again, until you understand the ideology behind what the Puritans did, the Pilgrims, and going to war against Native Americans and conquering them, you're not going to understand what's going on today. You're not going to understand the situation that we're in today in America with this promotion of LGBTQ, feminism, the destruction of the family, all this. You're not going to understand it until you go behind the motivation for what the Pilgrims did. Because it's the same motivation of why we're having endless wars in the Middle East. And I will further expand on that. But for now, I got to go. Salute.